These are the eyes of a saddlebag.
See, I knew it. I knew I knew it.
You cracked it.
Oh man, I'm sorry, Remy. I had to start off Spooktober like that. I'm sorry, but the intro was made by the one and only Remy. Good job, Remy. Love the intro. Really,
Thank you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with our second annual Spooktober month. Another idea that really yeah, I'm super excited about Spooktober month, and there's no other way to kick off. There's no other way to kick off Spooktober tonight with our CloverField movie review. But before we dive into our movie review, let's get our introduction in. I'm Donald.
I'm Remy.
Kyle.
I'm DJ.
And we are the Sci-Fi Nerdz. And first and foremost, how's everybody week going?
Spooky.
Good.
Going pretty good.
Good. Yeah, man. Nope, that's amazing. Really excited about reviewing CloverField. So, Remy, this was one of the films you suggested, and I actually did a poll on YouTube, and CloverField and Critters 2 were the two films that were picked the most, and I think Super 8 came in third place, but Critters 2 actually got a lot of votes, so that was pretty cool. That's good to see that people still enjoy that movie.
Me and DJ having the best picks.
Yeah, good picks, because Critters 2 was up there, so that was good. So tonight we're gonna start off with CloverField. This should be a pretty fun discussion. I'm really excited about tonight, getting everybody's thoughts, and those who are watching, feel free to chime in and let us know if you enjoyed the CloverField film. If you've never seen it before, if you watched it before, what are your initial thoughts on the film? So Remy, I'm gonna start with you, brother. CloverField, how would you describe the first 30 minutes of this film?
Well, misleading would be one thing I would say, because the movie kind of starts off like some sort of, I don't know, episode of like some ongoing found footage drama show or something. Where it's basically just about this guy moving to Japan while also trying to deal with like, I don't know, the fallout between him and his girlfriend, I guess. So he's here, Serge.
Serge.
You made it.
Sorry.
You made it. Hey, all good. You made it. Yes, cheers. Yeah, but yeah, it starts off very misleading with that sort of like intro, and then as they're like discussing like what he needs to do in order to win her back, you just hear a huge explosion in the background. You're like, what the hell is that? And it's funny watching this again. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. This is a kaiju movie. As soon as the explosion happened, I was like, oh yeah, there's a giant monster in this movie. Okay. About time.
It's supposedly the baby.
Yeah, which is terrifying. The baby is that huge, and it's looking for its mother the entire movie, which honestly is an interesting concept, but I wouldn't say I'm really a fan of that concept of a giant kaiju just acting like a giant scared animal. I'm like, nah. I'm like, I kind of want my monsters to be more malicious and a bit more like, no, I want to go out of my way to destroy the city. Like, think about the original Gojira. Godzilla was not stomping around the city looking for his baby or looking for his dad or anybody like that. He was like, no, I am mad at you guys for waking me up and dropping a bomb on me, so I'm just going to destroy everything.
But for all those parents out there, we all understand that young children looking for parents can be that destructive.
Yes.
Good answer.
Look at Gorgo.
Oh, yeah, Gorgon.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that was the mom going after the kid.
Still.
Mom was like, give me back my baby.
Hey, kids make you crazy, right, Donald?
Yeah, they do. They definitely do. Gray hairs.
Right here.
You take that element, though.
What about you, Cal? How would you describe the first 30 minutes of the Cloverfield film?
To start it may look like it's something out of like a reality movie, but when you hear the explosion, that's when you knew that the monster was there. It was like, I thought it was just gonna be like more screen time for the monster, but no, this movie focused a lot on the human characters more, while it's like interesting how they're like trying to get away from the monster while avoiding the military and the monster together, while they're while the boyfriend is trying to like reunite with his girlfriend that's stuck in the apartment since the attack. And it was like, wow, okay, I thought this is going to be like, 1-on-2 monster seeing this and the human seeing this, but it's okay. Like I was expected to see a little bit more of the monster, but we don't see it until by the end of the movie. But it was really good. It just gave me a little bit more like Lost Tape vibes, which if you remember watching the Animal Planet show, there were like many.
I love that show.
Yeah, I know.
That really good. So good. So ever since I saw that movie, and with the Statue of Liberty head, I was like, oh my God. So good.
Yeah, this film is actually not long at all. Its runtime is not really long. What I can gather from the first 30 minutes of this film, I feel like you do get to know the characters a little bit as they develop, throughout the film. I would say how can I put it without, I almost feel like it was filmed almost like one of the Paranoid Activity movies at the beginning, just how it was shot, not comparing them, but just the way the cinematography and stuff was. That's the vibe I got from it. But I do feel like the first 30 minutes you get to know the characters. And I thought the build up was, it was pretty good to me. I didn't have any issues with it, from them being at the party, from getting to know them. So I thought the first 30 minutes, I thought it was pretty solid until the building and everything started collapsing. That's when it got real serious. So I thought the first 30 minutes wasn't too outrageous. I thought it was a pretty respectable 30 minutes. I didn't get bored with it. I stayed invested with it. So the first 30 minutes to me was pretty cool. What about you, DJ? How would you describe the first 30 minutes of this film in your opinion?
Well, considering that, it opens up and literally says this is found footage, which is in line with the Paranormal Activity and the Blair Witch Project. So, it's following that genre. And, it establishes that we're going to get one perspective throughout the whole movie. Which it does a good job about that. It establishes, hey, so-and-so is going to be carrying this camera to record this party. Oh, hey, I'm going to keep carrying it while this crisis is going on because, we got to record it, so people know what actually happens and stuff. So, from that aspect, they lay the ground rules and they follow it pretty well. We don't get anybody else's perspective throughout it. So, character establishment, we find out who the main players are and everything. And interesting, I think the guy that carries the camera throughout most of the movie is the guy that plays Weasel in the Deadpool movies.
Yeah,
Yeah. And he plays a creep very well in like every movie he's in.
Yeah, because he's a creep in real life. That's why.
Yeah.
He's not really known for being a good guy.
Oh, man, that's
guy.
crazy.
Like,
That's
I
wild.
did not remember like him at all until when I rewatched it. I was like, how did I? Oh yeah, I forgot about him because he's such a creep.
Yeah.
Uh,
You're like, damn, this guy is kind of an idiot. Kind of asshole. Just when you're like watching it, you're like, wow.
It's just what he always plays. So
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I always get the feeling that I feel like he might be a comedian actor, but I always feel like comedian actors always get to be like comical relief in each serious movie, either if it's a monster movie or a horror movie.
well, they're supposed to be, but there's being comic relief, and then there's being like, eh. And he's in real life, and he portrays it very well in his roles. So not much deviation. So, but yeah, I mean, for the most part, the motivations are pretty well established with the characters. We understand what's going on, where why they want to do what they're doing and everything. So, the first 30 minutes does a pretty good job setting up everything and getting you invested. So,
all right, Serge, I'll come to you, brother. Good answer, DJ. I like that. Serge, how would you describe the first 30 minutes of this film in your opinion?
What year did this movie come out? I was in college.
2008.
2008.
Okay, cool. Yeah, the year I graduated college.
You're forgetting how much older I am.
Yeah. Hey,
no matter how old you are.
I'm right behind you, DJ.
I was a wee lad in 2008.
Stop.
I'm
trying to think about like at the time. I'm trying to think about what was going on at the time as far as movies go. I've always thought that the first 30 minutes were like an interesting mix of like late 90s teenage dramas, mixed with like a little bit of like the initial like romanticism, plus what we had in the late 90s of Blair Witch, right? So it was like an interesting mix of that mixed all together until boom, like crazy stuff starts happening. I did think they did a good job of kind of like initially getting our attention with like, the whole found footage thing. And then easing us into the story. And then it goes into like Can't Hardly Wait movie style party. Someone, behind the camera. And it's just, he's an idiot, but it's funny. It's funny and you can follow it. And then all of a sudden, like, now it went from Can't Hardly Wait to, kaiju movie.
Oh my God.
For a bit. So, I mean, and here's the funny thing, because I did see it in theaters when it came out. And I was one of the many people that apparently got motion sickness from it.
Oh.
Which is funny because let me tell you, I got out of class in college, and then I went over there to meet up with friends to go see CloverField. I see it. It looks like a disaster monster movie. I'm down. We didn't have a lot of those back then, right? And so I go over there, start watching the movie, and I'm like, once it starts picking up into the more adventure monster stuff, I remember thinking like, oh, this is really good. I don't. Oh man, what's going on? Whatever. Keep watching it. Oh, sweet. And so I literally had to like. I'll be back. I need to go to the bathroom. I feel like I need to puke. So I had to like walk down and then go to the side, but it was getting more interesting as I walked down there. So I just stayed in that little middle section as you're walking out to the theater.
Right.
And I was just like pacing around trying to watch the movie, like trying to calm my stomach down. And And then it turned out like I was okay. I did not puke. Went back to my seat and I was like, okay, whatever happened, I think I'm okay. And then like a week later, I saw on like AOL News or something like that all of these thousands of people got motion sickness from the movie, and I thought, oh shoot, that's what happened to me.
Like this
So
was
just,
one time.
random fun memory about that movie. The only time I've ever gotten motion sickness in my life, and it was CloverField.
That's not a good story to share. That's good to know. That's good to know. My guy got the motion sickness going on.
Mm-hmm. Never happened before. Never again either. Just CloverField.
Good. Can't have
make a found footage Godzilla movie, and then we're gonna hear from Serge, guys. I think it happened again. Like, damn it.
Y'all be the first to know.
Yeah.
I would never really thought someone would get motion sickness during a movie. That is
apparently it wasn't.
Well, yeah, that's the reason why. Well, Kyle, that's the reason why a lot of people really don't like found footage movies, because a lot of people do suffer motion sickness from these films.
That's a really interesting way.
You have to remember that big screen is affecting peripheral vision, and so it's a lot of extra input that's coming in, and that peripheral vision can really screw up your balance.
That's understandable.
And like, I've never felt that watching it again, like on TV, because I watch it here and I have the DVD. Never happened ever again, just in the movie theater, which is funny because I never saw Blair Witch in theaters. I saw it on tape or DVD or whatever we had at the time. So I never got to experience that.
Yeah. No, I feel bad for anybody who had to see it in IMAX. It's everywhere.
Man.
I'm pretty sure you were introduced to that movie because of Cinemassacre's Top 10 Giant Movie Monsters. That's when he mentioned about this movie.
I found this movie before that, I think.
Yeah, but Cinemassacres introduced me to that type of movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I just randomly came across it on YouTube, and then I think eventually I was like, oh, there's a toy of this thing? And I actually got the toy of Clover.
Oh, cool. Heck yeah, Remy.
Yeah, I've heard about that toy. It's now expensive now and very rare to find.
Yeah, I had it. I don't know what happened to it, but I used to have it. It's pretty huge.
Oh, man.
Pretty big.
Dang it. No, that's all right. All right, Remy, I guess it's back to you. For question number 2, Remy, did you enjoy the tone of this film? If so, what did you enjoy the most about it?
Yeah. I think the tone of this movie. Well, first of all, this movie is directed by Matt Reeves, and he's a director who is kind of known for having his films like kind of serious tones infused into a lot of his pictures. Like you look at Dawn of Planet of the Apes or War for Planet of the Apes or even The Batman. Like a lot of those movies have a lot of serious, mature tone to them, and I feel like the same could be said for CloverField. And it's also because you think of the grander scheme of things. You think about what society was like back in 2008, and it was still a couple of years after 9/11, so the film industry was still kind of infusing that kind of imagery and that war on terror kind of within those various films. I compare this movie to CloverField to say War of the Worlds from Steven Spielberg. You look at those two movies together and you're like, yeah, I can definitely see the 9/11 influence. And this literally happens in New York too, the site of 9/11. And so it's just a lot of that same mentality, a lot of that same imagery can be seen being showcased in this film. So I feel like this sort of gives the movie sort of a haunting feel to it, where especially with the found footage aspect, you're oh, this is kind of too real in some scenes, a little bit too gritty. That entire sequence of after the Statue of Liberty's head is thrown and you see the building come down in the background, you have that giant dust cloud that comes up, and then you see all these people walking through it.
That was cool.
Flowing through. I was yeah, this is exactly you go back and you watch like actual like footage that was covered in 9/11, like when the towers fell, it's like almost reminiscent of that. And so like I think Matt Reeves and J.J. Abrams did a good job of like mimicking that as well. So.
Yeah, I agree. They did a really really good job with the tone of this film. Especially like even though you had moments in there where they had the comedic relief, where you still felt like the tone was still kind of like dim in ways, like it was still serious in ways. And so no, I agree, Remy. I enjoyed the tone as well. What about you, Kyle? Did you enjoy the tone for the Cloverfield film?
Yeah, it was like really like a cool dark tone. Started like from like happy normal party, then all of a sudden you see explosion. Like Remy said, this movie is a reminiscence to
Alex.
Right, Alex. Sometimes reminiscence to 9/11, and I could see the comparison to how they did with Godzilla. Like Godzilla's a reminiscence to the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, whereas this movie is a reminiscence of 9/11, and I can definitely see the comparison between the two, with the dust coming over to the streets and gets very chaotic. And I really love how they put like you the camera footage is like holding and shaking in a funny position. Like you can't see what's going on, but you know what's happening. And the way they actually set that up, it's like I knew what they were going for. They're trying to make like a monster movie based out of 9/11. And that's something I think that's what definitely go on to maybe create future movies, monster movies, or any science fiction or horror movie that's related to like what's going on.
I like that, Kyle. That's pretty good answer. I like that. What about you, DJ? Did you enjoy the tone of the Cloverfield film?
Yeah, I mean it was all right. Yeah, just found it like I get the main character wanting to go for the girl because he, loves her and everything like that. But throughout the whole thing while I was watching, I'm like, why is everybody else going with him?
Yeah, true. It's like, all right, I gotta go.
Maybe his brother, but everybody else, it's like he's going to get some action. He just wants to get some action again. So like. But no, I mean he genuinely cared for her and everything. So finding out she was in trouble, it's like, yeah, friend or not, friend, lover, whatever. I mean, it makes sense for him to go after her.
Maybe because he was the only one with like a clear vision on like what he wanted to do.
Yeah,
maybe he was just like.
And I felt bad for the one girl, the Zooey Deschanel lookalike.
Lily?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was she just exploded?
No, wait, that's not Lily, that's Marlena.
Oh, okay.
Just, yeah. Because she was the least likely person to actually tag along with that.
Yeah, because she barely knew any of them. She barely knew HUD. She barely knew Rob. I think she only knew Beth or she knew Lily. She was like one of the good friends with one of them. And so out of all the people, she's like the one, like, why are you here? Like, you barely know any of these people. Like, leave.
Alex.
Well, it's just, like, watching it again, it was things like that just kind of, like, I don't know, like, made me kind of question, like, the tone, a little bit. It's like,
right.
Would people really act this way in this situation? I mean, granted, it's hard to tell. It's fantasy and everything like that. So,
I mean, ask yourself this: would you rather follow him or HUD?
Well, screw HUD, man.
I ain't gonna lie. He was making me laugh, but he came up with the idea. He was like, they never listened to him, and all of a sudden, they just decided to listen to him. And it was going on the building.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's like, how about we just climb up that one building and then go? Like,
yeah, and they listened. He's like, no, never listen to me.
No. He's like, of course I listened to me, but now they listen to me.
Do you think it was intentional being in New York? That's
Yeah,
a really,
I think it was.
that's a really good question. I like that.
It's the perfect city for disasters.
Yeah, like think about most giant disaster films, like Independence Day. Like they're always set in New York.
Yeah, you're right.
Day of the Earth rose.
Yeah, Godzilla 98.
Day after tomorrow or whatever.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Day of the Earth.
The whole world knows New York. So.
Yeah.
Serge, how about you? Did you enjoy the tone of this film?
Yeah, I think the best way I could put it is that it was pretty consistent. You know, I think modern action, kaiju, disaster movies, very modern, struggle with the balance between consistency with the tone of the movie. You know, like we can have like some pretty awesome. I mean, like King of the Monsters, Godzilla, King of the Monsters. You know, there's those random inconsistencies in tone, random jokes or this or that kind of comes up that just kind of feels very forced and like, yeah, we didn't need that. You know, not.
I think that's part of the after effect of the Marvel success.
No, it is.
Yeah.
Almost all big like blockbusters were trying to put in that Marvel type of humor, and everybody was like, "Stop it."
Well, and it's true because I feel like this came from a different time, even if it was not that much earlier, but still earlier, where and I joked that it was like a teenage drama, like at first, but it was more serious. Like it was still drama; you could still understand it there in the first 30 minutes, but it wasn't over the top to where when it turned into like a kaiju / disaster movie, it was like, I mean, obviously it was a surprise, but I mean, we knew what kind of movie it was, but it wasn't a ridiculous shift in tone. And yeah, like HUD is HUD, right? He's that one friend that we all got, right? But it's not, it doesn't stick out like a sore thumb, you know, like
right.
From the get-go when it starts picking up pace and like, you know, disasters happening, it turns into a disaster movie where the tone is consistent. There's no like, you know, there's none of those Marvel type jokes that just kind of happen out of nowhere and you think, you know. So I would say, for the most part, yeah, the first part is a little lighter, but once it gets in, the tone is pretty consistent. You know, I know we mentioned like movies that we were possibly going to talk about that we did the poll out, and I think about Resident Evil. It has been forever since I've seen that movie, but as far as I remember, like once things got going, you know, they kind of like remained tense, however that was, you know, and that's what I appreciate from this movie at that time before we had this whole thing of like, oh, it's kind of a serious movie and then sometimes it just gets stupid.
Yeah. No, I agree. Great tone. It stayed consistent. Pretty much throughout the most part for me. Like I said, I didn't get bored with the film at all. And I like dark films, dark tones anyway. So I always been like that, like since I was little. So, but I definitely enjoyed it. Remy, I'm coming back to you. How would you describe Rob as a character, based off the level of emotions he's dealing with in this film?
I think with Rob, like, what's interesting about him, I feel like, there we go. So I feel like with Rob, his character, I kind of find interesting because, like, I think it was DJ that said like he was the one that kind of had like a clear goal, like throughout the whole movie. Like everybody else was sort of scattered and freaking out about what was going on in Clover attacks New York, and Rob was the one that was like, "Wait, Beth, like where is she? Is she okay? Is she still alive? I need to go get her." And so I feel like him having that like goal already set gives us like an active protagonist that we can like follow along to. And I kind of like the fact that his character and himself like encompasses like one of the main themes of this movie, where it's like when disaster happens, like where will you be? Like it's basically like centering around that theme, that moral, where like being there for the ones we love in times of like crisis, or like being present, or like showing up like when disaster falls. And he does that in this case, where like most people would have just said, like forget Beth. Like at the beginning of the movie, like literally they were like arguing, and he even like said that like one comment where he was like, yeah, good luck tonight, Travis. Like acting like a total a-hole. Like even with Beth, like they had like huge falling out, and yet even then he was still willing to put his life on the line and go save her. And so that kind of shows like an altruistic, kind of selfless character, where he's willing to go through hell and back in order to like rescue her.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. I also do believe that this film needed these different types of characters because if a natural disaster happened, like let's just say if you're a loner, you keep to yourself, you study yourself, 9 times out of 10 you may panic, you may not know what to do. But like, you know, me, and not saying y'all in the sense because y'all have family too, but like if a natural disaster was to happen, my initial goal is to like get my kids, so I don't have time to panic. I have to, you know what I'm saying? So I think this was a great combination of characters that blended in well. And like you said, Remy, you put it perfectly. Like, you know, where would you be if something like this happened, or you know, what would you do if something like this happened? So, I mean, so I really thought that was a really, really good answer by you, Remy. Kyle, what about you? How would you describe Rob as a character based on the level of emotions that he's dealing with in this film?
The way I see Rob in this film, he reminds me of Ethan from the Winter's Saga from the Resident Evil games. The way he cares about his fiance so much that you could see the amount of stress that he's going through, that he can't evacuate without his girlfriend, that she got left behind. So you can see the emotion and guilt that he's going through about leaving her behind. But you could definitely see like heroism inside of his eyes. Like it's just like what really makes him a really interesting character. Because the way you like trying to make sure, like you got to rescue someone that's very important, and then once you found that person that's important, you get them out of here as quickly as you can, and that's why I think that's what his role in. He's more like a heroic fiance, if I put it that way.
No, that's a good answer. Good answer, Kyle. DJ, coming to you, brother. How would you describe Rob as a character based on the level of emotions that he's dealing with in this film?
He's definitely like at first he starts out, you know, determined and focused because he's like, I made a mistake. If there's a chance that I can correct it, I want to do that, you know, which is admirable. You know, in any situation, you never want your last words to somebody you truly care about to be, you know, negative or hurtful or anything like that. You know, so in a crisis, if you have the opportunity to make amends, you want to do that. So it's understandable. The part that kind of caught my attention and like I'm still kind of analyzing is when his brother dies. Like his brother just gets smashed right in front of him, and the girlfriend, you know, obviously reacts to it, but you know, he almost goes like numb, you know, like just shuts off, and like the only thing that he could think about now, like he can't take in anything else, is just I got to get to Beth. Like
right.
So, and it's kind of like given us everything that's going on, I get, it's mostly understandable, but kind of, interesting that he never mentions it.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I agree with that, DJ. Because I think he took the, I don't know,
Well, there is that scene where he has like that talk with his mom, and you see him finally break down.
True, I forgot about that.
Yeah, and he does like actually mention Jason like the very end of the movie where he's like holding the camera. And he's like, "Yeah, and it killed my brother Jason, and it killed my best friend Hud," and he like almost on the people.
I think all of it just finally caught up to him all at once. Because when it happened, when it initially first happened, he's in a shock.
Yeah,
because he don't lose everybody right away. Then
Plus,
and
too
then
much adrenaline as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just like everything going through his head, and like he's just too like focused, and there's like so much chaos going on around him that just
it's like so much happening. He don't, you know what I'm saying? So it's pulling him every which way, and then he still gotta look out for his own life, to survive. And
well, I mean, that's why I said like he shuts off,
right?
Like it's not until he gets that phone call that he kind of snaps out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's just trying to calm his mom, letting him know that he's all right, that he doesn't want to worry her, but he's still taking a risk.
Yeah.
Sirs, I'm coming to you, brother. How would you describe Rob as a character based on the level of emotions that he's dealing with in this film?
I mean, he really is like, once things like kick off, I mean, he's really is in fight or flight mode, kind of like how you guys said, like, that happens to his brother, but he just kind of keeps going. Like you said, he just shuts off and he's just in survival mode or save mode. I also like that he's kind of just a normal guy, and it's but a normal guy that's able to focus on what's important at the time, like kind of like how you said, Remy. What are you gonna do? And and he chooses to save people, to lead people. As I said, that's probably why the others followed him, because the others would probably be just scattered, scared, and running crazy. But at least he had he had his goals, he had his priorities that it took center stage for him with everything that was going on.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more, sirs. Everybody's giving some great answers, by the way. I'm enjoying the conversation and the discussion so far. It's been pretty good to get some good feedback from you guys. Enjoying this conversation a lot. Remy, what was your first reaction when you saw the Clover, or monster, I should say?
The Clover. There we go. Man. Honestly, I really do like the design of Clover. I think it actually is a very unique, very original looking kind of creature. Especially, I thought that when I was very younger, when I was listening, like a little kid, like first seeing the images going around of this kaiju, I was like, this looks different than like the kaiju I'm used to, because I had watched so many Toho films that like seeing this kind of like design was like sort of like new for me. I was like, I'm not really used to this kind of like creature design, but I think it's really cool. I think they did like a really good job at like creating something like very original, and I think Clover stands on his own as like a cool looking original kaiju that has grown a fan base over the years, and I would consider myself a fan of the design. Yeah, we discussed it before the stream, not before the stream. We discussed it like at the very beginning that like this monster is also supposed to be a baby. So the fact that this baby is this large and this destructive, it kind of like gives that underlying fear of like, oh god, this is what an infant is capable of. What the hell is the parent like? So it like gives us that kind of like underlying sense of dread. Like, what would happen if the parent showed up right now?
Especially with the fact that it could produce its own like offspring.
Yeah, the little parasites. That, like, I was like, oh god, yeah.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. And then this is an infant, so we all know infants do what? Grow.
Yeah.
They don't tell how big this baby's gonna get or can get.
Yeah. And also too, like I think with any good creature design or any good character design, CloverField has a really good like silhouette. Where if like you took away all the color and everything and it was just like this black shape with a white backdrop, I would be able to say, oh, that's a CloverField monster. Like that's what that is. And so I think they really did a good job with that. And so yeah, no, I really like the design, and the small glimpses we get of it are kind of a shame because I kind of wish we saw just a tad bit more of it. Because like the most we see of it is in that like final scene, like this one right here. On like the screenshot on like the
yeah. When he's looking down at Hudson.
Yeah, where he finally looks down at Hud and we get like a full like clear like sight of what this creature finally looks like. And yeah, no, he looks cool. So
yeah, he looks great. He looks great. And I was kind of torn because I was like, dang, I wish we could have saw the Clover more, but then at the same time, it's like I feel like I've seen it enough. I don't know. I was kind of back and forth. And like you said, Remy, I thought they did a great job with the silhouettes of the Clover. And I was looking at Alex's comment. He said he thought the design was interesting, and I do too. Like I said, it's an original design that's able to stand alone, that has gained a really strong and positive fan base. I enjoyed the Clover. And when I first saw it, I was like, dang, man, that monster's huge, and it was terrifying. The parasites are more scary than the Clover to me.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, that they were crazy. Cal, what about you? What was your first reaction when you saw the Clover?
When I first saw it, I really find the creature very, very interesting, given that it's actually an own original American kaiju / monster. That I feel like it was kind of inspired by the Future Predator from the Primeval, because the way the arms and legs look like. And I feel like this would definitely inspire many creature designs, like from the Quiet Place and the Mutos, and even Destroyers Rex, because the way it looks like, this is what I feel like they were going to stick with this design for the rest of their lives. But given that it's a cool looking monster, but I thought it was an adult breeding its parasites, but until now the internet's given more facts that this was an infant. I was like, are you seriously an infant? that looks nothing like a baby. Looks more like an adult to me. But I kind of like go with what the people are saying, and until I reach, I think, the end of the post-credits scene of the third movie, which I haven't really watched it yet. The adults look very huge. So I really love the puppy. I can feel like it's expressing emotions when you like look at side by the end of the movie, the way it expands these glands. You could tell that the way it's angry or it's like calm. You can definitely tell by the exposure of the glands on its head.
That's pretty good. Interesting insight, Kyle. Good.
Yeah.
I like it. DJ, what was your first reaction when you saw the Clover, brother?
That's different. Because, like Remy, I mean, all the kaijus that I'd seen up to that point have been like the Toho ones and stuff like that, Ultraman and Godzilla and King Kong and everything. So, this was the first time that I can remember, seeing a different type of design. Other than what was in like cartoons or whatever, but I agree. The parasites are definitely creepier, but it was interesting to see like everything that they were throwing at it, and it seemed like nothing.
Yeah, nothing worked. They weren't successful on nothing.
Like even the big shots, like it just kind of just kept walking, like it didn't even feel it.
Mm-hmm.
So, So again, I mean that's kind of like Godzilla too. So not too out of the realm of possibilities, but.
Third, what was your first reaction when you saw the Clover?
I mean, I liked it. I thought it looked, pretty awesome, considering that at the time we hadn't had like a real kaiju or disaster movie that semi revolved around like a monster like that, and God knows how many years. Godzilla 2014 hadn't come out yet, so I think just seeing something like that on the big screen at the time was pretty exciting. It does have an interesting design, like DJ said, it's a little different than what we're normally used to seeing. Actually, kind of reminds me of the Avas from Neon Genesis Evangelion. I know they're like a cyborgish whatever. Obviously not the face, right? But like the body, kind of that bigger body style, but the arms are long and slim, the legs are long and slim. It just reminded me kind of like that, just in a monstrous version. I think Shin mixed in with an Eva, because I was a big fan of Neon Genesis. But I can totally see that too, and I think Alex mentioned it too, like the Muto, and I know you did as well. I can totally see that too. I remember when Godzilla 2014 came out, I thought that Muto reminds me a lot of Clover.
Yep.
A lot of people agree. Like, man, it's just a CloverField monster again. What the hell?
I see how it looks like the future Predator and Muto, but I never thought of it looking similar to the Deus Rex, and I can see it. Cool.
Because it does remind me of that.
All right, Remy, I'm gonna come back to you. This question: who was your favorite character from this film, and which death impacted you the most?
Favorite character. Honestly, I think Marlena might be my favorite character, because I think she was this character that I felt like the most sympathy for.
Mm-hmm.
She barely knows anybody there, and she's kind of an introvert.
Yeah,
and she is kind of like pulled onto this adventure, and it ends up getting her killed in the process. But at the same time, I really liked her personality, and I think she kind of went out in a interesting way where it was her act of heroism where she saved HUD from one of the parasites that ends up getting her killed later on. And so it's like, oh, look at that. Like, she stood up and she fought back only to like get herself killed, only to like explode later. It's like, shit.
Bro, that was crazy, bro.
Like, damn it. So it was kind of upsetting in that way where her, and plus too, like I remember as a little kid, like watching that scene of her just like going like behind the curtain. And as a little kid, you're like, what the hell was that? What was that?
Yeah, it happened so fast. I was like, wait,
sound effects. You're like, to a little kid, like a little freaking 8-year-old, like that's traumatizing. And I never forgot that scene. I was like, well, I think I'm just gonna watch the CloverField monster scenes from now on and not watch the whole movie. Anyway.
they did show the body with the chest burst.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right, DJ. When they passed through on the stretcher or something, like yeah. Okay, I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's a pretty gruesome PG-13 movie.
Yeah,
honestly. This is like one of those PG-13 films where it's like, no, we're rated PG-13 for a reason.
Yeah, the characters I went with, I agree with you, Remy, Marlena. I did get a kick out of Hudson, but I felt really, really, really bad, man, during the film, because this was actually one of the few films I've watched where I kind of really wanted every character to live.
Mm.
And then when that happened with Marlena, man, I was like, they could have took, if they're gonna take somebody, take somebody else, and it was her, man. So, but no, I liked her. I enjoyed her, even when she was at the party when she was forced to like talk on the camera, and she was like, she just came up with something. Yeah, and it was still pretty cool and sweet what she came up with, but even after her death in the film, I still thought about her death like 10 minutes. I'm like, dang, man, like I really enjoy her going on this journey, something she probably never envisioned. And then, like you mentioned, Remy, her helping HUD out. So she did have some kind of, fight and toughness in her. Just never really had to bring it out because she always stayed to herself. So those are the two characters I would go with. Kyle, who was your favorite character from the film, and which death impacted you the most?
I would say HUD, the cameraman, because throughout the film, I keep thinking like he's the main character, but no, it's actually Rob throughout the entire movie. And everywhere I get to, throughout the film, we get to see how he interacts with all the characters, which is pretty funny and comic relief at the same time. But when I was like surprised that he would just like always shocked. He's like gets so like traumatized by all these events while he's like holding the camera. It's like he's trying to keep it straight. It's pretty hard to see where he's like holding the camera, but you kind of like roll along with it as the movie goes. But then by the end of the film, he's confronted by Clover, and I was like, oh, looks like he's done for. I felt bad for him. Like, and then he gets eaten. It's like, and then the camera just fell out of Clover's mouth. It's like, where's the body? I'm like, did he just like?
Well, part of it falls near the camera.
Body.
Yeah.
Yeah, part of him. We don't know about the other part.
Yeah, he got bit in half. It looks like.
Yeah, maybe his arm got fall off, but I didn't see the entire body. It's like
because they can't show it to you, Kyle. It's PG-13, but you see half of the body. You see his head fall like in front, his face fall in front of the camera, so his body is still intact, somewhat.
Yeah, but that's when I was a kid. That's what was like, where's the body? But now, seeing it as right now is like I begin to see why. I think they don't want to reveal it too gruesome, given it to a PG-13 rating.
Yeah.
What about you, DJ? Who was your favorite character from the film, and which death impacted you the most?
I don't know if I mean, kind of go with you and Remy. I like the one girl,
Marlena.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, and she was pretty tragic. After watching it again too, I kind of wonder if the Rob's brother's girlfriend actually survived or not, because she got put on the other helicopter.
Yeah,
and
that was it. See what happened to her after that.
Yeah. But yeah, going back to her saving HUD, it was pretty crazy because he just wouldn't leave her alone the whole time.
Yeah, like he just kept like, yeah.
And my man was trying. Failing, but like trying.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I've never subscribed to the idea of like, hey, if a girl's visibly annoyed by my presence and me talking to her, let's keep annoying her.
Oh, that's everyday occurrence for me, DJ. So don't worry.
No.
Rim, stop.
Remy, you the man.
I'm single. Help me.
Was that all you had, DJ?
Yeah.
Okay. I ain't want to cut you off or anything. I just want to make sure.
And I'll say one other thing. It was pretty crazy how they pulled Beth off the rebar.
Yeah.
Right.
That was ugly.
I was like, oh.
And then she was like shaking her legs and everything. I was like, oh no. And
they had like that brick covering like half the screen, so like they're not showing it to you, but you're imagining.
That was cool. I like how they put that out.
Oh my god. I'm like, that is gruesome.
Yeah.
What about you, Serge? Who is your favorite character from the film, and which death impacted you the most?
Oh, I like Rob. I'm a Rob fan. I just think I just like how he's a normal dude. You know, he's going through stuff, but at least at the end of the day, when tragedy strikes, you know, he's got a clear vision of what he wants to do, what he needs to do, and he just goes for it. Especially in that one time where he's there, I think right before or after Marlena blows up.
Oh yeah.
Where he tells there you go. He tells like the military people, like, I'm gonna go find my girlfriend. You know, if you want to stop me, you're gonna have to shoot me. And you know, I was like, damn, you know. So I like Rob. I like that he just kind of goes for it. But the death, that was how do you say her name? Marlena?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think because it was very, because it kind of came out of nowhere.
It was sudden. It was like,
yeah, because it didn't seem like that kind of movie. I mean, we went from a kaiju to, you know, the parasites, which were, you know, even the parasites kind of came out of nowhere themselves, and like, oh man, it just keeps getting crazier. Then it goes to, you know, that where she freaking, you know, and so I felt like that was very random. It was very all of a sudden. So because of that, yeah, you're right. I think DJ, you said it too. You know, I don't know who said it. The rest of the time, you just keep thinking, yeah, but she blew up. Like,
yeah,
that was crazy. Yeah. And also too, because that doesn't happen like anywhere else in the rest of the movie, you know, that I remember, apart from, yes, them wheeling like a body that was obviously had done the same thing. That's the only time you see it in the movie, so that's why I think it was so impactful. It was all of a sudden. We didn't think it was that kind of movie, and then you never see it again.
Nope.
Yeah, that was. I don't know. I know. I thought about her death like 10 minutes after. I'm like, dang, she gone. That was crazy because it happened so fast. I was like, did her body just swell up and explode? Like, boom. I was like, dang.
Well, and then also that in the scene where, I mean, it's kind of like the prelude to it, right? Where you see the big old gash that she has in her shoulder.
Oh, yeah.
When you see that and you see it pretty close, it's kind of, like no one got visibly messed up. Yeah, I know Beth got the rhubarb and everything, but we don't really see it. But man, this girl, she got it.
Yeah, when once the film picked up, it really picked up. We got 2 more questions. I know we're running really thin on time, so I'll ask both of them together. Remy, I'll start with you. Name some of your, or could you tell us about some of your favorite scenes from this film? And out of 5 stars, how would you rate this film?
I think for me, in terms of like favorite scenes, it would be the Statue of Liberty head like coming through the street. Like, I think that's just like a striking visual, and I like think that really kicks off the film because, like we're saying, it starts off like some sort of like reality show or some sort of like teen drama, and then all of a sudden you just see the explosion and you see a freaking head get tossed through New York City, and so that like really kind of like puts you on edge. You're like, what the hell threw the head, man? Like, what did that? So like, it gives you the impression that like you're in for a ride as the movie continues. And then another one I would say is definitely the parasite scene, the first parasite scene, where you see these rats going through tunnels, and you're like, what the hell are they afraid? And then you always at night, and he's like, here, turn on night vision, and then you just see all of those little parasites crawling on the walls, and you're like, nope, run.
Yeah.
So that like really puts you on edge. And I would say too that the scene where before that happens, where you have that little small quiet moment of Rob like talking to his mom and telling her about Jason's death, and you have the characters kind of sitting around going like, "What the hell do we do now?" Like that, I think like really like helps connect the characters with the audience for a minute, and like kind of like gives us like a little bit of a breather in the midst of all this like destruction, and like it like reinstates that these people are characters that are. I mean, not just characters in the movie, but they like gives you the impression that they are real people like going through this like hardship.
Right.
And of course, the final scene would be like I think like the entire like finale where I think everywhere beginning from the helicopter POV where you see Clover getting shot down by the bombs.
I love that scene. Yeah,
him taking on a helicopter to him stomping in front of HUD and like chewing him in half. And then you have like final moments between Rob and Beth where they're like recording their final moments while you're hearing Clover get bombed again and again until the big one comes up, and like that's where the film ends. And then too, like I also love that like little hint at the very end of the movie, like when the credits are rolling, you hear like that little distorted audio, and if you play that in reverse, I think it says either "help us" or it says "it's still alive." Or no, it says "help us." It says both of that actually. It says "help us." It's still alive. So like it gives you that like, oh shit, Clover is still alive, and that bomb didn't do squat. So it's just
like, damn it, stronger weapons.
Yeah. So yeah, I would definitely say those are my favorite scenes. And then in terms of how many stars? 5.
Yeah.
I definitely give it. Honestly, I think I give it a 4. I think it's a really strong film. I like the kind of realistic aspect it has to it. And I think most of that is credited to Matt Reeves because I think he's just a really good director. So I think handing him this kind of material like really made it more elevated than like some other found footage movies. So yeah, I would definitely say 4 out of 5.
Out of 5 stars, I would actually give this film a 5. And if I'm not mistaken, I give it a 5. One of the main, I don't remember, I could be wrong, I don't remember hearing any music playing throughout the film.
No, there's no music.
And I thought that was
with the theme, and that's it.
That was crazy how good this movie did without any soundtrack, without any theme. And when I was watching the film, I didn't even realize it. But I was able to sit back and like, dang, these scenes were still really good, even when it got dark, it got intense. It was still really good. A lot of the scenes that you mentioned, Remy, were some of my favorites. When they were bombing down the CloverField, and they was like, "It's down, it's down," and all of a sudden he just reaches up and attacks the
he's like,
helicopter.
Shit right there.
Yeah, you get that cool shot of him looking down that HUD. Like that was amazing. Even the scene when they were in the tunnel, when the parasites were down there, when all the rats were running, they started running, and they were having a fight with the parasites, and then even from the rebar scene, as gruesome as it was, I did enjoy that, and I enjoyed the shot of it. Like you see it, but you don't see it, and I thought that was cool. So those were some of my favorite scenes from the CloverField movie. Kyle, what about you? Tell us about some of your favorite scenes in the CloverField movie, and out of 5 stars, how would you rate this film?
I would say my favorite scene, definitely the parasite. It does give me some sort of like horror aspect. It does give you alien vibes because if you see with all the xenomorphs in the darkness, that's what these parasites reminds me of. They remind me of the xenomorph scenes. It's just they're really interesting. They look like something out of like arachnids from the Star Troopers. Which is a really
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking.
Great minds think alike.
But they may look like something out of like aliens, but they are just basically life organisms that came from the creature's body, which is very similar to, I don't know, like many other future monster movies with parasites inside of them. It's really good. And I would say the opening scene where you see the explosion and CloverField starts to make his presence known. It was really interesting introduction, but we don't see until by the end of the movie again, like I wish this monster got a little more screen time than the human characters, but you just got to understand this is basically part of the human aspect of what it feels like to be in the city with a giant monster, and you just got to get that feeling. And if you ever play video games, City Shrouded in Shadows, if you ever play that for the PlayStation, I recommend playing that game, and that way everyone could get to understand what it feels like to be so small next to a giant monster. So I would give this movie a 5 out of 10 because, I mean, no, 5 out of 5 stars.
There you go.
Yeah, because the monster, this is giving me like 9/11 vibes. So, just like I said, it's kind of like how Godzilla was the metaphor of nuclear weapons and the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. This movie is like reminiscence to the 9/11 incident, and we can definitely relate that to the movie. And I think Matt Reeves and Adam, oh my god,
J.J. Abrams.
DJ Abrams, yeah, thank you.
J.J. Abrams.
I'm gonna get his name wrong, but
No, you good. You good.
they did great. They kind of like did their homework with the monster movie, and I could tell that they love Godzilla and other giant monster movies growing up. And they did their homework.
Yeah, they did. They did a really exceptional job with this film, in my opinion. DJ, name us some of your favorite scenes from the CloverField. Out of 5 stars, how would you rate this film, brother?
I'd give it 3.5 stars.
Okay.
It's enjoyable, but not like my go-to when I want to see a kaiju movie.
Right.
So, as far as scenes, obviously, like the beginning with the Statue of Liberty head flying through the city and stuff. Just getting that perspective on the initial assault was pretty good. The helicopter chase was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And,
was cool.
Getting that perspective on the building top, that was pretty interesting.
Oh yeah.
My
scary tail when I'm scared of heights.
Like just how they did that practically, give them props for creating that set so well and making it look real, yeah.
All right. No, I like it. DJ. I like it. Sirs, last but not least, name some of your favorite scenes from the CloverField, and out of 5 stars, how would you rate this film?
So, favorite scenes. I love the dark escapes of the beginning when the monster comes out. Even though you don't get to see him quite yet or quite fully, it just looks really, really good. Even if you don't get to see him, you see that explosion, you see the whatever coming to hit the other buildings and whatnot. And I just remember thinking, like, man, that just looks really good. And then considering the time that it came out, I mean, it looks great. I love the way, I think this movie just overall looks really good. That scene that we have right here, the close interaction between military and the main characters. I mean, it goes by so fast, but it looks really good. And I think it's a unique, we don't usually get that. We don't usually get that in movies. It's like the military's over there, but the main character's over here. They're not usually like in very, very close contact. We did get that in King of the Monsters, but not the way this looks, This is much more from the eyes of course, the camera. And I think they did a really good job of it. Also, I remember one scene when I was watching it again, the scene where it's the camera looking up in the subway tunnel, and then you can see the lights of the eyes of the parasites and then somewhat their body. I think that was just great shot. The rat shot, I remember loving that. And then the ending, seeing the monster and then like the pulsating stuff was just like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
but it looked great. It just looked great. I always thought this movie was an amazing looking movie. I'm kind of torn between giving it like a 5 out of 5 or a 4.5 out of 5, just because, you know, like DJ said, it's not my go-to movie, but partially because I still have it on DVD. But when I do watch it, I love watching it, and I do enjoy watching it. And there are times where I don't have any of the DVD player stuff set up right now. I haven't in a while, but when I see the DVD, I think, ooh, I want to watch that. I do want to watch it. So
there you go.
I guess I'll give it a 4.5. I only take off the 0.5 for making me want to throw up in the movie theater. That's about it.
Oh man, cool. Well, there you have it. Our first movie review of the Spooktober. It was the CloverField movie review. I really enjoyed this conversation with you guys. Those who are watching right now, those who are in the chat that did participate, Alex, we greatly appreciate you, and anybody else who's watching, we always appreciate you. But before we close, I'm going to hand it over to DJ so he can tell you guys what's going down on his channel tomorrow.
Thank you, Donald.
Yes,
So yeah, tomorrow night, Friday night, 7 p.m. Central Time, Remy and I, and hopefully Donald will be able to join us to talk about Frankenstein Conquers the World, or Frankenstein versus Baragon. So we're
my!
going to be talking about this classic one.
I gotta see that. Oh man!
And
Adrian.
so yeah, we're gonna be checking that out, and then next week we're gonna finish up the Get a Robo Armageddon miniseries. So that'll be next Friday. So yeah, we're keeping the cycle going and getting through some more movies and different shows and stuff. So we're having a good time.
Good. And don't forget, make sure y'all like and subscribe at Dragon DJ Reviews, an awesome channel that my brother run over there with Remy as well. So amazing channel with amazing content that everybody would love. With that being said, I'm Donald.
I'm Remy.
Kyle.
DJ.
Serge.
And we are the Sci-Fi Nerds. Y'all have a good night. Peace.
Laters.
Farewell.
These are the eyes of a psychopath.